If you're looking for a new way to support the podcast, check out Dubby.gg, an energy supplement company trying to make a difference. There you can use code SIDEMISSION for 10% off your order. Thank you to Dubby for sponsoring this episode, and we hope you enjoy.
Welcome into the newest episode of Side Mission. I, like always, am your host, Rusty Ellis, joined by just one of the boys, Matt Beck. And today, Matt, we are finally, and it feels like we are way overdue for this, we are finally talking about Mortal Kombat 2, the sequel to Mortal Kombat. We're doing a movie review today. I don't know, what was the last one we did? Mario Galaxy? Was that?
Mario Galaxy.
I hope that episode's been posted by now. I hope. I mean, surely to goodness it is by the time this one goes up. But nonetheless, I thought this movie was an improvement in every way over the first movie. I thought the first movie was good. I thought the action was good. I thought that it wasn't too long of a movie. Like for a Mortal Kombat movie, a game that's not going to put a big emphasis on the story, I thought it was good. But a lot of people had issues, specifically with Cole Young, which is very funny in retrospect, talking about this movie, and we will get to that. Just thoughts in a nutshell, Matt. Did you think this movie was a pretty sizable step up from the first movie like I did?
Yeah, I did. I think what I liked about this movie the most is how I feel like that the story felt more focused on, whereas in the first movie, it was kind of like, objectively like all over the place for me.
Yeah.
Especially in the first one where we got, Cole Young's backstory. He's a descendant of Scorpion. Mm-hmm. We get the rivalry between Scorpion and Sub-Zero in the first one, but a lot of the major players don't really have the big of a role outside of it, where it just feels like they make, cameos. Mm-hmm. Like, eventually Cole Young, he meets the main cast as Liu Kang and Sonya Blade.
Jax, yeah.
And Jax and them. But with this one, I actually like the fact that we go back and we make the main characters, which we have two in this movie. We have Katana and we have Johnny Cage.
Yes.
I like the fact that we go back to the basics and we make these characters the primary focus on their stories. And I think it worked out really well.
Not someone that is being introduced.
Not someone who's just introduced and has plot armor. Literally plot armor.
Well, the one thing I will say about especially the start of this movie.
Yes.
This movie is heavily reliant on you watching the first one. It's heavily, like, there are a lot of movies, I say, like, the Mario Galaxy movie, I could say that, like, hey, you could probably not watch the Super Mario Bros. Movie and be okay. Like, you could probably watch, you might have some questions regarding, like, why is Bowser small? Why is he being held captive by Mario and Luigi? You might have some questions, but, like, it's not hard enough to figure it out. This one is very reliant early on, specifically when it says, you get into the whole Mortal Kombat tournament, because I do think that was one thing the first movie struggled with. The first one didn't really have much to do with Mortal Kombat, with the actual tournament. It was very much kind of just a lead up to that, kind of in the same sense that, like, Twisted Metal Season 1 was all building towards actual Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
That was very much the same case here, because you get the very beginning where King Jared is defeated, and that's, Katana's father. Shao Kahn takes over Edenia, and you have now the setup of Mortal Kombat's going to take place. It's going to take place in Outworld. Shang Tsung has convinced Shao Kahn to hold it there so they can have some kind of an advantage. And it's going to be, the first side to win five, or the first side to, win 5 rounds is the side that wins. And I think that if you've watched the first movie, it'll make a lot of sense, because you're going to be like, who are these characters otherwise? Because the first shot that made me think that was the shot of Team Earthrealm, where it showed Sonya Blade and Liu Kang, Jax, Cole Young. It shows them, and I'm like, you imagine watching this movie and not having watched the first one? You'd be like, who the hell are these? Like, who the hell am I looking at? You'd figure it out.
Yeah, especially if you never played the games.
But if you don't play the games and you hadn't seen the first movie, you would be like, who the hell am I looking at here? Like, these guys are clearly established. Like, who am I looking at here? Now, in terms of the story, I do feel like the story does once again take a backseat. It's pretty much just Mortal Kombat. Like,
we got the tournament, which was one of the things that we mostly wanted.
It's pretty much just the tournament. Like, there's a little bit of stuff in between. Katana is fighting on the side of Outworld at first, but she obviously at some point
she's a double agent.
You learn that she's a double agent. She's working with Raiden. She's trying to make sure that Earthrealm doesn't just get destroyed.
Yeah.
So, despite the fact that she does defeat Johnny Cage in the first round of it, she doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
Whereas it seems like
when you had Sonya Blade, because her
fight with Sindel,
her fight with Sindel, which was great, but that's also one of my problems that I had with this movie was Sindel was paid dust.
Yeah. Sindel, I thought, was one of the biggest weak points, and probably the most disappointing part of the movie.
She didn't even fight with her hair,
no.
Which is her, her iconic.
Yeah.
Like,
she used,
the
screech.
Her screech.
She used that, and that was awesome, but, not using her hair at all. And the thing is, what's frustrating about that is Sindel is not just another character in the Mortal Kombat universe. Sindel is a very powerful character in the Mortal Kombat universe.
She's the mother of Katana.
There is a I think it's Mortal Kombat 9. There's a fight where it's her versus 8 or 9 people, and she wipes the floor with them, and she kills 7 of them. It's main characters that she is killing. Of course, we say killing off in Mortal Kombat. We know obviously that a lot of these characters are probably all going to come back. The one thing I thought was hysterical, and we knew this going in, is very clear the directors, the writers, they saw a lot of what was said about Cole Young in the very first movie.
Yeah.
And they put him up against Shao Kahn in the first round, and admittedly,
he held his own.
He held his own for a little bit.
Especially for a character like Shao Kahn in this moment, his whole goal is to become immortal.
Yes.
And at the point during the fight with Cole Young, he becomes immortal.
Yes.
And, that was Cole's downfall. Because
he would have won.
He would have won.
He would have won. And then the thing that I said going in was, I feel like if Cole Young dies, it's going to be Shao Kahn that does it, because they're going to try to make him look really strong, and they did. Shao Kahn is fantastic in this movie.
Yeah, he's very menacing. Just like in the games.
Loved the portrayal of him. He was one of the highlights in the movie. Shao Kahn was fantastic. But he does. Cole Young holds his own for a little bit. He gets what looks like a killing blow. Shao Kahn heals, and then what I thought would happen was his death. I knew it would be very sudden.
We get Shao Kahn's signature fucking fatality, which
just smashes his head in with the hammer.
Yep.
Which it was funny because again, even in the moment it happened, I was sitting there going, okay, he's probably going to put up a little bit of a fight even after he's immortal. No, it's 2 moves and then he's done. Yeah. But they essentially kill him off in the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie is Team Earth.
A lot of lines in this movie.
Yeah, the rest of
the
rest of the movie is pretty much Team Earthrealm trying to find some way to come back because they're down I think it's 3-1 or 2. They're down early on in the tournament, so they're now having to figure out a way to come back because Jax wins, Sonya Blade wins, but Johnny Cage loses, Cole Young loses.
Who was Jax's?
Jax. Oh my gosh, it's slipping.
Didn't he go up against Jade?
I think it was Jade. It was Jade, but he spared her.
He spared her.
It was just
right.
and his reasoning for that was Katana spared Johnny Cage, so he said, "I'm not going to kill somebody if I don't have to. If I don't have to, you spared one of ours, we'll spare you as well." At some point, and I thought another character that was a highlight for me, both in how the CGI was done, the voice acting, the portrayal. I loved Baraka.
Baraka was my MVP of the movie.
Baraka, for me, when he was on screen, he stole it. The fight...
fight with Johnny Cage was my favorite.
When me and you were in there, and that fight happened with him and Johnny Cage, I was sitting there this fight had no... there's no reason this fight should have gone this hard.
Yeah.
It went so hard. And it was so funny because at first it looked like we were going to get a serious version of Baraka, and then after he loses to Johnny Cage, he falls back into being... stupid ass Baraka.
He's the comedy relief in this movie. During that fight, I love the moment when Johnny Cage falls into one of the tents, and you see the kids there.
Yep.
And they're just the most hideous looking.
And he's like, don't tell him. Baraka comes in looking for him. And he's and they're just they point at him.
Exactly where he's hiding.
They point him out. I love that. I felt like this movie balanced humor and action really, really well. Again, the weak point is just how some characters were utilized, and the story's just kind of it's just kind of okay. It's kind of just there.
Yeah.
But I thought that they set up for a lot of really interesting things in Mortal Kombat 3, and that's what I really want to talk about now is, and obviously if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler, but it's been out at this point, I think the movie might not even be in theaters anymore. I could be wrong. I don't know if it's
I
in
believe
theaters.
it still might be in theaters.
It might be in some, but it's probably coming up towards the end of its run
Yeah.
in theaters in all likelihood. But Liu Kang fights Kung Lao, who has been resurrected by Quan Chi.
That was a great fight, by the way.
Yes.
And I just bring up the fact that they used a lot of their most iconic moves.
Yep.
Like Kung Lao did the hat throw.
The hat
throws
throw,
it to the ground.
turns it into a saw, yep.
Liu Kang does his bicycle kick. He does his fire blast. Like
the fight scenes in this movie were so good.
Yeah.
And like the fight scenes in the first movie were really good. This felt like they had a bigger budget. It felt like, okay, we're going to go even harder this time. And the gore effects are great. I think one of the first things I was surprised by was them killing off Jax so willingly.
Yeah.
Them killing him off so willingly was such a surprise. Now, obviously, beginning at about Mortal Kombat 10, that's when a lot of like the resurrection stuff gets really big. Like Jax gets resurrected, Kung Lao obviously does, Liu Kang does. So, in Mortal Kombat 3, it looks like the main, because Liu Kang fights Kung Lao, but he ends up, I believe, sacrificing himself so that he can try to go into...
He fights Shao Kahn. And
Liu Kang does?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
In the moment where they are in the throne room, he goes up against him, and Shao Kahn ends up
that's
doing an attack on him, and he basically was like, "You may have won this battle, but it's not over." And he turns into like the dragon and then disappears.
So, and that's obviously what they're gonna. They're turning. I think they're setting up for Liu Kang to essentially replace Raiden as like the elder god now.
That was another thing that I was not a fan of. Raiden was put on ice.
Raiden was pretty much benched. He was benched in this
because
movie.
he was attacked from behind, and then like the whole thing was like Shang Tsung tried to attack him. While he was,
because Shinnok's medallion is has also become a key part of this world now.
Yeah.
Which is why I believe in Mortal Kombat 3, I believe that Shinnok is probably going to be the main villain.
Shinnok should be.
I think Shinnok is probably going to be the main villain.
Because another character I was not expecting, because I didn't really see him in the trailers, was Quan Chi was in this movie.
Yes.
But he was doing his role as working under Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
And his whole thing was to use Raiden's like his emulator or whatever it was, to capture the souls.
Yep.
And then he was also bringing like people like Kung Lao back, and then he brought Kano back.
Yeah, he did. He brought Kano back. He did.
Kano again was
Kano is funny as hell in this. He's funny
movie.
as hell in this one as well. But it's so interesting because at the end you get this shot after all the dust is settled and Kitana has turned on Outworld and defeats Shao Kahn, which that was a great fight as well. Kitana versus Shao Kahn. Kitana and Sonya Blade versus Shao Kahn was a really, really good fight.
Yep.
I thought really well. Again, choreography-wise, really well done. You get this shot of like this team that it's like, all right, now we're going into the Nether Realm and we're gonna bring everybody back. And it's this amalgamation of like the Earth Realm heroes that you're expecting. So you have Johnny Cage, you have Sonya Blade, you have Kitana, but Baraka is also here. Kano is also a part of this team. Raiden obviously is a part of it. It's this weird amalgamation, but it's just, I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is unpredictable, and I like this.
Yeah.
I like that I can't predict what exactly is going to happen with each of these characters.
I also really like that we have a lot of focus on like the original cast, from Mortal Kombat, like going back to Mortal Kombat 1. Another one of my highlights is when they're in the Nether Realm. It was Johnny Cage and Kano. And then they go up against Bi-Han. If you don't remember,
Bi-Han,
that's Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
And Sub-Zero is basically painted as one of the main villains.
Yes.
Whereas in the games, Sub-Zero actually works helps out Earthrealm.
Yeah.
And Scorpion and him, they had that fight with Scorpion shows up.
Yes.
And it is so freaking good because, he's called Bi-Han in the movie, but we all know him as Noob Saibot.
Yeah.
Where he does like the split.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah. So I have to ask you, so in a third movie, who are some characters you really want to see? Who are some characters? Like, there's one villain that we haven't seen yet that I really want to see, and I think it's going to happen in 3. I think Reptile is finally going to have to pop up.
I'd like to see Ermac.
Ermac would be awesome, yes.
Rain. Smoke.
Yep, Rain and Smoke.
To bring some ninjas back.
One that I would like to see, because I think it's an interesting character and they can do a lot with it. I don't know if they will. I would love for someone like Aaron Black to be here in some capacity. Yeah. Because again, he's kind of an outlaw. He's kind of more or less just a mercenary who is for hire, doesn't really align with good or bad. He kind of just aligns with who's willing to pay him the most. And
he's a good character.
And like a character like that, especially if you can get someone like Matthew Mercer to portray him, I feel like that is something I could get behind. I think that would be awesome.
At the top of my list of the ones I've already named, for me, I want to see Cyrax and Sector.
Yep.
That's a good one. Catch up.
Yep. No, I think that's a good one. I do think that Shinnok will be the main villain. We kind of also knew that this endgame was coming because when Kung Lao was killed off in the first movie, we were like, Kung Lao was a massive part of the first movie. Yeah. He was a big, big part of the first movie. When he gets killed off, you kind of start thinking, okay, so the resurrection plot line is what we're going with here.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you focused on him just to kill him off this much. And then I do think that Liu Kang at some point is going to... I think whereas... The first movie is all about Cole Young. It's all about Sub-Zero and Scorpion and their battles throughout history. This movie's a lot more about Johnny Cage and then Katana. Those are the two main focuses. I think the main focus of the third movie, I think it's going to be entirely on Liu Kang.
I think so too.
With maybe the second character being featured the most, probably being Raiden.
Yeah,
I think Raiden will be the other one.
Liu Kang, is the main Mortal Kombat character.
He's the mascot. I mean, well, I think in the current games, he is the Elder God right now. He is what Raiden is. Or what Raiden was. When everything was reset in the games, Liu Kang essentially took over for Raiden. So I do think that they are going down that path of Liu Kang being kind of that Elder God, the next one that's over Earth Realm. And I think it's going to be interesting. The one thing I did want to talk about before calling an episode... Carl Urban was really good as Johnny Cage.
Yeah,
and I know that we were all skeptical, I think. Carl Urban was really good.
Yeah, I had my doubts, especially some of the earlier reviews. Some people were like, he was severely miscasted, but upon watching it myself, I thought he's good because Carl Urban has that kind of, that charisma.
Yes.
He's got that cockiness that Johnny Cage is supposed
He's
to have.
He's got that equal amount of cockiness, but also sometimes understanding when he is deep, he's well in over his head. Yeah. And you're like, he kind of realizes that he's not, but when he gets his powers at the very end, that's really cool. Because his powers in the games are really cool. Like that fighting style he has, I love that. I love that.
When he did his split.
Yes.
And he does the infamous cock punch.
Yes, that's awesome. So there are things in this movie. I think that if I had to score this movie out of 10, I'd probably give it an 8.5. I think it's a really good movie, and I think that it's a step up from the first movie.
It is.
Now, the third one could be epic. The third one could be one of the best video game adaptations ever. It certainly could be because...
You need to raise that budget.
The budget, this needs to have a Marvel budget. This needs to have... Because they're obviously... The goal is going to be to get Kung Lao, to get Jax, to save... They're probably going to save Cole Young as well. The goal here is to save them in all likelihood.
To rescue their souls from Shang Tsung.
Yes. That's going to be the goal.
Tournament's about. When you die in a tournament, your soul goes to Shang Tsung.
Goes to Shang Tsung. So I do think he and Shinnok are going to be kind of the two main focuses when we look at villains. Because Shinnok, at some point, he's been mentioned in both movies so far.
Quan Chi is still alive.
And Quan Chi, despite the fact that in the games he's kind of portrayed as a little bitch.
Yeah.
And in this movie, he wasn't portrayed as a great fighter.
He's your schemer.
He's one of those that in a lot of the earlier games, Quan Chi is powerful. He has got powers that make him a very formidable threat. So I'm hopeful that we'll see more of that. So did you have anything else you wanted to add? Was there anything else that stuck out?
Yeah, for me, going back to your roots with the original Mortal Kombat and bringing back the theme music, because man, I used to jam out to that stuff so much when I was younger.
Yeah.
And when those credits played and you heard it.
This, I think we can safely say 2 movies in, this has gone so much better than we could have expected. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting when Street Fighter comes out, because I'm going to be honest with you. Street Fighter, I am very skeptical on right now.
That has a lot of WWE wrestling.
It's got Roman Reigns, and it's got Cody Rhodes, but it's, the cast
Jason Momoa.
The cast looks good, but it's one of those where, the trailers, I'm going to be honest with you, I've not really been blown away by the trailers.
I've not really been either.
If anything, I've thought that the trailers kind of look a little goofy.
To me,
which is what Street Fighter is, to be fair. It's very goofy.
It comes off more as celebrities cosplaying.
It looks, I'll say it looks kind of fan-made.
Yeah.
It looks kind of fan-made.
Yeah.
But, nonetheless, we'll still see it.
We will.
We'll talk about it. I hope it's really good. I'm kind of concerned, because Mortal Kombat is kind of, I don't want to say it's more grounded, but it's a lot more serious. There's humor sometimes, but it's very serious most of the time. Street Fighter is kind of inherently goofy.
Yeah.
And I'm a little weary at it, but we will talk about that another day. So that is going to do it for this episode of Side Mission. You can follow us on Twitter at Side Mission Pod. You can follow us on Facebook as well at Side Mission Podcast. For Matt, I'm Rusty. Thanks for listening.